Your kid could drop dead in the pediatrician's office and the parents have no recourse. That's it. You can't sue the vaccine company.
Yeah.
It's not like that with any other medication, by the way. For years, the pharmaceutical companies were giving Vioxx. They were giving Vioxx to cardiac patients and basically putting them in cardiac arrest and killing them. And those horrific and tragic, but those families at least had recourse and can sue them. Vaccines, you can't. But even that was a knowing thing. Like, they knew about it. Their profit margin was better than their payout. So they continued to kill cardiac patients with their products. But once that legislation was passed, and by the way, the pharmaceutical companies do their own studies. There's no other industry where they allow that. So they do their own study. They say safe and effective. And if you have a little time, I could get into the studies themselves. There's no other way to say this other than when they say it doesn't cause autism, literally 6th grade scientific method teaches you. The only way you could say that is if you study a vaccinated versus an unvaccinated population and you carry it out for 3 years when they would potentially get the diagnosis and say how many vaccinated kids are on the spectrum, how many unvaccinated. There's studies that they cite, first flaw is they do it for a very short, and when I say very short, 5 days, 7 days, maybe some even as long as 10 days. They're looking for seizures. They're looking for spikes in temperature. They're looking for rashes or anaphylactic reactions of some kind. Death, which does happen in those first 10 days.
Yeah.
After that, they gather their data, and besides it not being a longitudinal study, which you would have to do to say whether a diagnosis was achieved or not, there's not a single placebo-controlled study. That they always talk about this vast amount of studies. And when in court, when Fauci was called out on it, he said, they're back in Bethesda. So RFK ended up suing him with the FOIA Act and said, you need to present these documents that you're referring to. You're right. We don't have any placebo-controlled trials that show this. Then if you want to completely just disregard everything I just said and say, okay, show us the study you do have. They have this MMR study.